What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Best Family Homestead. And on this video, I'm finally going to get started on some actual projects, building some stuff, which I've never even really built a lot of like cool stuff, furniture on the homestead channel before. But finishing up in the garage, showing you guys the peppers and the results of the hugelkultur garden and a couple other little things. But before the video started, I wanted to take a few minutes and just express my appreciation for all my subscribers and the support you guys have given me over the past year, really. Everything from the walk, you know, things being, you know, difficult a little bit in my personal life, and you guys just being there to support me and everything I've done. So I appreciate that, and I think that you know, it's right now the end of October and things feel a lot better now. I think that I'm finally excited again. I'm going to be getting started on some projects, getting started back on the house, and really working on getting back to where I was. I feel like my old self again. So I'm looking forward to this fall. Well, the rest of this fall. And you know, things are still up in flux with going to the mountain farm. Timing on that, you know, I'm not sure what the future holds. We'll see. So you're gonna have to stay tuned because it's probably gonna change quite a few times. But for right now, I'm just gonna roll with it and enjoy what I've got here and keep going on projects and making things, pretty things. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to this winter is building some stuff and wrapping up some projects. So, you know, kind of a new beginning here. Kind of feel like maybe, you know, this video is kind of the start of the next chapter, you know, so to speak. So that being said, we're going to jump back in and what I did a little bit this weekend. And I guess one of the reasons I kind of feel like I'm back is because with the projects, not a whole lot went exactly like it should. I had a couple Mondays. That's normal. So I guess I'm back. All right, everybody, enjoy. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Best Family Homestead. And today we are back in the shop. Been working out here stuff that doesn't really need to be filmed, you know, sorting little stuff and going through stuff, but a little bit tedious, but making good progress. And today, some of the stuff that I need to do, I want to get where I can use my table saw and go ahead and get that set up. That's probably one of the only big projects I want to do as far as infrastructure work in here. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. And but I want a good solid table base to build on and my table saw. So get this cleaned off and I'll show you guys what I got working with. now you can see a little bit more what I'm talking about. Now this table's really hard because, like I said, this is old bowling alley lanes, and I got them for free for Workbench. Probably could have made something cooler, but it makes such a good workbench. You know, I've got a friend visiting today. That is Hilo. He's a pretty cool dog. Him and Copper are being crazy. So we're going to, oh, speak of Copper, Copper's in here sniffing around. I don't think he quite has the energy Hilo does. So I'm gonna disconnect these and get them over to the center and measure and start getting a framework for our table build. I also need to get the table saw in here so that I can measure my height and know exactly how high I need to build it and kind of get an idea in my head of what I want to do. All right, everybody, so I didn't do a whole lot this weekend. I took actually a weekend off. And I'm glad I did. And now it's time to get back to work. So I decided why I was, I did work out here a little bit. Been working on getting a workbench, well, a table, an assembly table for some of my good wood projects built. And mama chickens, they're fussing at me, I don't know why. But instead of just putting one together, like, a lot of times I do, I decided that I actually want to build something nice and pretty. It's been a while since I have, and that's why I'm building the, getting the shop set up. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some time and do this workbench really nice. And so the first thing I'm doing, which you guys have seen a little bit before, time-lapsing a little bit I started on this weekend, is taking the poplar from the huge poplar logs last year that I cut, and taking them from just rough cut, which is what I was, just going to use rough cut lumber, but I'm actually having to square it up, and I'm planing it and making it pretty. And it is fun. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous wood. I was really surprised when I started getting into it how pretty it was. So I am missing a couple pieces of equipment I would need to get something square normally. So normally I would take a joiner and get side square on a joiner, or two sides on a joiner, then planer table saw. Since I don't have a joiner, I'm using my table saw to get one square side, or get two square sides, and then use the planer from there. Not perfect. It's not absolutely perfect, but for a shop table, since this is a shop table at the end of the day, it is still going to be all right. And you can see these pieces that I've gotten, they are really very close. I mean, I'm really, really close. I get something moving there, to being square. So, it's still going to turn off a nice product for my own shop here. So I had to get I wasn't able to do it exactly right because this table saw blade is dull. So I had to go get a new table saw blade. Now I'm going to kick that on, and we are going to get started back getting our legs, and hopefully get a whole lot of it assembled today. All right. So you can see, because I have this one smooth side, I know it's flat, it's not square. By running this flat side through the saw, now I know that this side and this side are square. So now I have 2 square sides. So I'll flip it over and I'll run this side. And now that I know that these 2 sides are square right here, when I run it through the planer, on this side, it's going to square this, and it's going to do the same thing here. So that way I end up with 4 square sides, and I can continue to make my table. Typical Aaron fashion, I mean, that planer is old, and I got a little carried away and I broke my belt. Down to the store to get a belt. All right, so I have to order this belt. Don't know how long it'll take to get here. So in the meantime, I went a couple different places, and finally thought about going to a vacuum cleaner store. Got a belt that's about the same size, so maybe it'll work. I don't know. But we're going to have to get in here and see about getting it put on, because I've never changed the belt on this particular one. So take a look and see what we can do. Well, surprisingly enough, I guess this belt, I'm not gonna be able to take nearly as deep of a cut, which is good because this belt's stretchy, but I didn't have to take anything apart. I was able to get it on easier than I thought. Whether it'll work, I'm not sure. Only one way to find out. All right. All right, so it's going to work temporarily. It's not really tight enough. A little bit too stretchy, but it's going to work enough, I think, to do what I need it to do for the next day or so until I get the other one in. So here in a few minutes, I'll sit down and look at the part number, get this belt ordered. Shouldn't take but a day or two, but at least maybe we can get the legs and the sides finished up enough to get it glued and clamped while we wait on the belt to come in. So that's what we'll try and do. Oh, that's worth a shot. They'll be easy enough to sand. The new blade's going to be here, or the new belts are going to be here for the sander day after tomorrow. So I'll still be able to sand these down to look pretty. So we'll keep going and get them really close. All right, so another change that I made to my table I'm making is I was going to use this as a top for putting a base like I had it before for the bowling lane top, but because I want to make this a really good functional woodworking table I'd never want to have to mess with again. The problem is they're exactly the same width and length, so I would have ended up with a very large wide area here that I would have had to for clamping purposes, it would have been extremely hard to clamp. So I'm going to make a whole new base out of the same poplar for it, and that way when I need to clamp on top of it, I have a good clamping edge here that won't max out my clamps if I'm clamping something that's really thick. So I'm going to set back probably about 4 inches so I have plenty of room here for my clamps. Again, I am going to have to wait for the blades for this planer probably to get it totally done, but I'm going to go ahead and start cutting everything to length and show you how we can get these rough cut 2x4s squared on 2 sides in order to make sure that we're got a nice level surface to put our bowling alley top on. All right, so I've been playing around with some jigs. I think I'm gonna knock off and think about stuff for a minute. But I've got my legs and all squared up. My top here. I got a couple other things I need to do here around the homestead I'm gonna show you guys. And then I think I'm gonna call it a day. Got wood set out for the rest of the table, and I've been slowly putting all this stuff away just off camera, sorting it. I mean, it's real tedious little, putting little tools here and organizing sizes, so not much point in filming a lot of that, but that pile is getting smaller day by day and getting put back in its right spot. So I think for the last thing for the day, before I kind of want to sit down and talk for a minute, I'm going to show you guys the hugelkultur garden and how it turned out. Okay, so here we go. It turned out phenomenal, and I think I was just 2 weeks, 3 weeks, well, I was about a month and a half too late getting everything out, or it would have turned out great. I mean, too easy. I had lots of good vegetables, lots of good, you can see that freeze. We just had that one freeze and it did everything in. But the one thing I do have that I'm going to do right now is I've already cut this one. I've got my peppers, my sriracha peppers. You can see these things are absolutely beautiful. And all I'm going to do is take these, you can do this with chili peppers, pretty much any kind of pepper. We're going to cut them all off here. And since my tomatoes are done, and I forgot to bring twine out here, and somebody did mention the jute not lasting real long. Yeah, that's kind of true. It lasted almost all season, but not quite. So I'm gonna take my jute string here, and you can see how these peppers have already started to dry, even just being outside. They're not soft or rotted. I'm gonna cut them, and you wanna hang them upside down so that the moisture doesn't work up towards the peppers. You can also take and pull the peppers off. You can also take and pull the peppers off and string the peppers individually if you want. I think they're real pretty on the plant. And I've done this before, and it always turns out real pretty. And you can just hang them in the kitchen or wherever for a decoration until you need them. And this will probably be more peppers than I could use in, like, I don't know, 10 or 15 years. All right. And now we're going to go in here, and I don't know where I'm going to put these because I have been running a fire when it's chilly. I'm going to hang these up above the mantle. Now they're going to be pretty, but it should really aid in them drying. And then I'll have real pretty pepper plants. And now they'll last a really long time. I mean, once they're dried, you know, you don't have to do anything with it. You can pull one off and throw it in a pot of soup or a pot of chili. And if you really want it to last a long time, once it's solely dried, you can even take and dip it or spray like polyurethane on it, and it'll last. And in normal fashion, the couch has been eaten a little bit. So hang on just a second. And there we go. I think they look kind of good. Little fall decorations here. Kind of like pepper stockings. But I think that will dry them very nice. I don't want them hanging in too much of the heat, so these will all shrivel up like this and be usable pepper soon. They'll do a lot better than drying in here. You can see a couple of them probably starting to rot. They won't make it real well, but now that I've got them inside out of the humidity, they should dry very well. And I'll keep you guys updated. All right, everybody, thanks for watching, and make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Because like I said at the beginning of this video, I think I'm back, and I think everything's going to be getting a lot better. So appreciate everybody's support, and stay tuned.